Today I want to show you the absolute easiest way I have found to start using open source models locally in combination with your already existing Python scripts. You can turn your old OpenAI chatbots into an open source version in just a few minutes. This means that you can access uncensored models such as Dolphin, Mistral 7b, Phi 2 and almost all other open source LLMs, so let me show you how. Okay, so step number one is gonna be to go to lmstudio.ai and download it. So basically you can kind of choose here, you can download for Mac, you can download for Windows, you can also download for Linux. So basically just start with that. This means that we can start using open source models directly from Hugging Face. Okay, so now that you have installed that, you can see here I am inside of the LM Studio. So basically the next step now is to download an open source model we want to use, right? So in this option here, we're gonna click on the search icon here and we're gonna start searching for a model here on Hugging Face. So I am looking for a model that is made by the bloke, that is kind of my favorite one, and I'm gonna do some dolphin model. So I'm just gonna search the bloke dolphin and I wanna download, you can see it's already had a Mistral 8x7b here. But I want Mistral 7b Dolphin version. So I'm gonna pick, I think it's version 2 here, right? So I'm gonna pick this one. And I'm just gonna go over here and yeah, I wanna download slight quality loss recommended. So you can see I have already downloaded this version. So you can just click on download here and let this run. So this will download inside this window here. And when it's done, you can just go over here to your models and it says should work. That means we can test it out now. And to do that, we can just go over to this speech bubble here, right? So we can kind of come into this playground. We can scroll down our models here. So I want to select the Mistral Dolphin model here. So you can see it's loading. And yeah, that was it. Okay, you can kind of see on the right there, we have some settings we can adjust. So if you have a GPU, I want to check GPU offload. I want to just set it to 30 layers for now. I want to adjust the content length. So this is 2K tokens. I'm just going to bump it up to 4096. That's going to be like 4K tokens. And here you can see we have a system prompt if you want to set that. For now, I'm just going to leave it as is. And that means we are kind of ready to actually just test out the model. So click on reload model to apply these configurations. So we load the model again. And now it's ready to use. So I'm just gonna put in like hello. And yeah, you can see it's pretty fast with the GPU offload. I need a Python code. Yeah, so you can see working pretty good. It's quite quick with the GPU offload here, so I'm happy with that. Now we can kind of move on to the next step. So like I said in the beginning of the video, we don't want to just keep chatting in this text box window here. We actually want to apply this now to our older scripts. If you have some OpenAI scripts, we can do that in a simple way. So if you take a look at the script I have here now, so this is a simple OpenAI chatbot. You can see we have an open file, we have the OpenAI API key, we have a ChatGPT streamed function that uses the GPT-4 model. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It can write a poem, so let's just test it quickly. Okay, so you can see this is kind of streaming a poem. So pretty straightforward using the GPT-4 model. So yeah, this script is working, but it's now running on the API and we are actually paying for this, right? But let me just stop that. Let's clear that up. And now I'm going to show you how we can use this LM Studio to apply this to an open source model in just a few minutes. So if we go back to the LM Studio, we can actually click on this arrow here. And here we have something called local inference server. You can see this behaves like the OpenAI's API. So when I click start server here now, right? We are actually running this locally. And you can see here we have this client OpenAI base URL API not needed. So I'm just gonna copy that, right? I'm gonna go back to my Python code here. I'm gonna replace this line with this. Okay, so I'm gonna save that. We can remove the API key now. We can kind of remove this part too. Let's save that. Okay, so let's go back to the LM Studio. We kind of want to set the model just to local model. Okay, so I'm going to copy that too. I'm gonna paste in local model here. Oops. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So this means that we are now gonna run the Dolphin Mistral 7b model to write a poem just by replacing this. So this is running on the local host 123. API key is not needed. We run the local model. And yeah, let's test it out. Okay, Python test3.py. Yeah, perfect. And how easy was that, right? You can see it's pretty quick too. It's writing a poem. If you go back to lmstudio now, you can kind of see it down here. So yeah, you can see this is streaming the response. First token generated, continue to stream response. So perfect. This is working. And yeah, how easy was that to change up an old model to just remove the OpenAI key and just slot this in and run it locally. So we don't even have to be online now to actually run this, right? So you can see I went offline. Now let's see if it works totally offline, just running locally. Perfect. So that means now we are offline and still running the Dolphin Mistral 7b model. So yeah, pretty simple. Okay, so I wanted to test like the differences between the GPT-4 model here and the Dolphin open source kind of uncensored model. So in GPT-4 here, we're just gonna start by putting in this, write a step-by-step list on how to set up a social engineering campaign to phish passwords from a targeted company. So I'm pretty sure ChatGPT is not gonna respond to this. So let me just run it now. And yeah, you can kind of see, I'm sorry, but I cannot assist with that request and a whole bunch of other stuff here. So now let's switch up the model and try the same query again. Okay, you can see now we are back on the local model. We are connected to our host, right? So let's go back here and let's try this now. And yeah, you can clearly see here that this gives an answer straight away. And this clearly kind of demonstrates the differences between like an uncensored offline model, open source, compared to the proprietary models from like closed source models like OpenAI, Anthropic, Bard and stuff, right? So this gives you more room to don't get like shut down if you have like a topic that is like a bit sketchy, but it's not harmful. But sometimes, especially Anthropic, likes to shut you down if you type anything that might be a bit on the edge, right? So that can be very annoying even if you're just doing legal stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to show the differences, right? And how you can kind of use this in practice. So yeah, that was what I wanted to showcase today. I hope you found it helpful and interesting. Definitely go check out LM Studio. And I think it's just great that people are developing these tools to make it easier to use these open source LLMs. I think that's very important going forward, that we have the option to choose between like proprietary models from OpenAI, Anthropic and stuff, or we can do an open source model. So very happy with that. Looking forward to the development of this in 2024. And go check it out, give it a try. And if you like this content, I would appreciate it if you give the video a like, maybe leave a comment. And yeah, I'll see you again on Sunday.